All right, so today in this F5 BIG-IP LTM class, we are going to learn the uh, BIG-IP LTM installation and licensing. These things, the above topics we have already discussed in our previous section. My name is Ravi Singh from Network Channel. Cool. So, uh, if you talk about like the requirement in order to install the LTM means like LTM box or F5 BIG-IP LTM. So we are going to use, by the way, the virtual environment in order to install LTM. So let's go ahead and first see what all are the requirements that we should have in order to install LTM in virtual machine. All right. So in this, basically, in this virtual environment, right, what we're going to have, like the requirement, if we talk about, since we are installing this LTM in our ESXi server, so either you should have VMware workstation, VMware, or VMware workstation, or ESXi server, or hypervisor, anything. Okay. Apart from that, you should have as a requirement the image. So in this OVA image of F5 BIG-IP, right? Apart from that, once you have this VMware workstation, ESXi server, OVA image installed, now when we come to the license, right? So you have to create an account in F5, right? There you will get, once you create the account and subscribe for the trial version, there you will get the key, right? Using that key, what you have to do, you have to import that key, or you have to use that key in order to get the license to your LTM server, right? So creating an account, that is something I will take you through anyways again once, but since we have already created it, we have got the license key. It is quite easy from there, but let's go ahead and first this VMware workstation and ESXi server, frankly saying, it is quite easy. Specifically like VMware workstation, since I'm using ESXi server, so you should have the the hardware where you have enough RAM and hard disk, and then ESXi server, the application you can install it separately. So let's first understand how to download this OVA image of a BIG-IP, and in order to get the license, what are the steps that we have to follow. All right, so I am on the F5, basically F5 .com website product, and go and click on BIG-IP virtual edition. If you scroll it down, these are the options that you have basically, but since we are talking about BIG-IP local traffic manager, using this basically itself, I can license LTM as well as GTM box. So intelligent application traffic management, just click on see buying options. And if you scroll it down, you have try before you buy, get a trial free trial. So get a free trial, just click on that. Okay. After that, what you have to do is Big IP and the Big IP IPv. Just click on get the free trial. Now it will ask basically here. Let's first understand how to download the image. So if you scroll it down under this VMware section, just click on download Big IP VE image. So what I'll do is I will open a new tab. It will ask for the login. I'll use my account in order to login. Right. So these are the versions basically, Big IP versions. I'm going to use the Big IP version 16, the virtual edition. Just click on that. And then these are the different files that you can download. But since uh, it is a virtual edition, I am going to go ahead and click on virtual edition. The version you can use anything. The end user software, I accept it. And these are the files that these files are basically for different environment. Like if you are using this Big IP in GNS, then you have this file. If uh, if we are using VMware workstation or the A6i server, anything, we are going to use this. So I'll go ahead and click on that. Okay, this is something they download basically. For the best performance, please select the link from the location nearest to you. Right, so here basically you have to choose the nearest location where you are. Right, so I'll go ahead and click on Singapore. That's quite the nearest, you know, and then click on save. Now this basically file will be downloaded to my local machine. So that is how basically we download the image, and that is how we find the image in your f5.com website. Right, now that's just only to download the image, right? But you haven't got yet the license key. In order to get the license key, what you have to do is click on get started. So when you click on get started, since I have already used that account, right, so it might say that no, I mean you have reached the maximum limit. I'll see here allowed. But once you click on that link, I mean the get started, it will ask you a few questions here. Just select anything and put your email ID. What F5 is going to do is, once you submit it, F5 is going to send an email to you with the trial keys, right? With the trial keys. Once you have the trial keys, now what is, so you have got the now trial keys. What you have to do is, now you have to install first LTM virtual machine. So let's check now how to install LTM in VMware E6i. All right, so this is our E6i server, right? In this, basically, this is F5 BIG-IP LTM. What I'm going to do, I am going to delete this instance, delete this virtual machine, and start it over again. So let me just first power it off. Power off. Yeah. And then go ahead and delete it. Because I want to start it from the scratch. Okay. So since we have already OVA file, I'll go and click on File and say Deploy OVF template. I have to select the image, BIG-IP 16.0. This is the VMware OVA file. We'll select. You can browse it basically as well. I mean, if you browse it, but basically it will ask you the location where you have this image downloaded. So in our case, we have downloaded it in download. So I'll click on download and select it. As you see here, this one. Right? Click on next. It says the download size is 2.0. We'll click on next. I accept the user license and click on next. Let's say F5 BIG-IP LTM, yeah, and click on next. That's basically the requirement that it is asking. 2 CPU and 4096 4 GB RAM. I would say okay, go ahead and use this much resource, and we'll select this default tick provision. These are the interfaces. You'll have management, you'll have internal, external, and HA. Let's say okay. You won't have to do anything basically here, but hold on. Is that we have option that we can change it? Okay, as of now, I am going to select here the VM network itself everywhere. That's not exactly the trunk because we are not using trunk at all. So everywhere I'm going to select as a VM network the default one. And for the HA as well, come on, this fellow as well. Okay, and click on finish. Installation is something quite very easy. It is just that, you know, just power it on, and since this OVA already template has been already attached to the A6i server, it is just that you have to power it on. It says that it is going to take 4 minutes. In that case, going to pause this recording for a moment. All right, so we are closed. It's almost done. 8 seconds left. And the deploying BIG-IP LTM1 completed successfully. I'll close this out. And here you have the BIG-IP LTM1. Let's just power it on because I don't need to change anything here. Just click on power on and console. You can get the separate console as well. It's the same binary. Will take some 5 minutes here or less than that, but again, you don't have to do anything here. It's just that let this installation go itself. You don't have to change anything, you don't have to do anything, just wait to get the login prompt. Alright, so you see here, it's been just even somewhere around 1 minute, and we got this login prompt. So installation is not that difficult. In order to now log into this LTM through CLI, the by default username is root and the password is default in the default word default. When you click on this, it might ask you to change this. Basically, you are required to change your password immediately. Root enforced, changing password for root. So you are changing the password for root because the default password is default itself, right? So we are going to change something. I would say cham @123. Oh, sorry, it's asking for the current password. So we'll say default and the new password. Let's say capital C HAMP @123 and C HAMP @123. And it says the password for the admin user ID has been changed to match the new password. So this password, it also says that this future changes to the root password will not affect the password of the admin user. So kind of cool as of now. All right, this is the normal CLI, right? Over here, when you install this, basically what happens, it gets the IP address automatically, right? And the IP address, most of the time you will see 192.168.0 dot something or 1, right? But again, based on your requirement, the environment which you have, right, you might have to configure the IP address. So you might have to change the IP address so that you can access this LTM through GUI. But as of now, what IP you can use, because I haven't set any configured any IP address over here as of now. But the question is, what is going to be the default IP, right? And the default IP is going to be, just type here config. I mean, there is a show command as well, but I'll show you basically like how to change the IP address as well as what is the default IP configure. Just type config here and hit enter. Okay, it says that use this utility to add an IP address and net mask. I'll click OK. What environment you are using, whether you are using IPv4 or IPv6, I would say IPv4. Click or hit enter. Okay, so it has taken the use automatic configured of IP address. What IP address it has taken automatically is 192.168.1.245, right? But in mine environment, because my PC's IP address is different in different network, so obviously I won't be able to access this IP. Normally it takes the IP address from your wireless if you are connected to the internet. So LT, since this is automatic, right? So it takes the IP address basically from the DHCP, and whatever wireless IP you have there, or the network what you have, it automatically takes that. But since I want to change it here, I'll click on no, I don't want this IP, but I want the whole name, 172.168.100.245. Then I want this IP address. We'll say okay. Just something, some messages anyways, but we'll say net mask for the subnet mask. Yes, I want to create the subnet mask name. Do you want to create a default route as well? If you want to create a default route, that's fine. Or would say 172.168.100.1. Okay. And okay, now it says system management connectivity may be lost if the management address changes. Accept these settings. Yes. Now in this LTM, what IP address we have configured? We have configured 172.168.100.245, which means now I can access this LTM through the GUI using this IP. So let's go to the better to create the new private window. So the installation is done. Now let's work towards the license. So we'll say here https column / 172.168.100.245 and hit enter. The usual message says accept the risk and continue. Okay. You see the big IP 172.168.100.245 username. So here the default is going to be admin and admin. Okay, username admin, password admin, and we'll click on. Okay. It says the login failed. Okay, we have changed there as well, isn't it? Let me see again. And admin, click on login. Okay, since I guess we have changed it there, we'll say CHAMP@123 because that's something. Okay, so that basically was changed that time. Now it's asking to change the password. Yes, the password has expired. This actually the situation you won't see every time, just like sometime only. I would say CHAMP@123 and a new password. And say CHAMP_123. CHAMP_123. So might ask you saying password changes. Okay, so admin and CHAMP_123. All right, so this is the setup utility. Right now we are working towards the licensing. Since you don't have the license, no license exists for this device as of now. That's the reason it is getting into this setup utility. Right? These are the options. You can choose one by one or click on next. When you click on next, it says the license is not activated. I'll click on activate. And then the base registration key. This base registration key basically you will get when you have submitted the form. There I was talking about, you will get an email from F5 BIG-IP. There you will see the 16 digit, the registration key, which you have to enter here. So let me get that key. All right, so I have copied that registration key and click on paste. Okay, so that this is basically your registration key which you will get. Make sure that you have to select the Big IP virtual edition, not the IQVE. So you will get basically two keys, one for the Big IP VE virtual edition and one for the Big IP Q. And then additional method here it says automatic. So when we use automatic, this means basically that you have internet access, internet connectivity to the server. Means this server can reach internet. But in this environment, I doubt because I have configured the IP address manually, and apart from that, I haven't configured DNS IP, internet, and everything, nothing. So probably I won't be able to reach. I won't be able to reach, the internet. But let's just quick, verify quickly. You click on SSH.
Ravi, sorry to interrupt. Could you please repeat it once again regarding the
I'll
activation
come to
method?
that. In 72.168.100.245, this is something that I'm checking whether we have the internet connectivity to the server or not. Let's say root and say the password that we have configured, as well as font size. 16. Okay. Yeah, what happened? And then the color. Just select OK and apply. Cool. Ping, let's say 8.8.8.8. No, it says unreachable, which means we don't have internet connection here. So what I'll do is, okay, what I was saying is automatic means you have to make sure that your server is able to reach internet. Then only you can
Okay.
use this automatic option. But like in our environment where we don't have internet, what I'll do is I will select manual,
Mm-hmm.
right? And click on next. Okay, before that, very important that I have to check the time in my server, because if the time is different, when you request for the license, right, you are
Mm-hmm.
requesting today, which is 4th of September
Mm-hmm.
2020, right? And
Mm-hmm.
when you are basically, if the time is not the same, time is not matching in your server, so obviously it will be like too much time difference,
Mm-hmm.
right? So
So
we'll
you
check
need
this
to
out first.
refer to the time mentioned in the server and the F5 portal, or how it is? F5
You should have the current time. So
current
let's
time in the newly deployed server, right?
well,
Okay.
that hardware clock, I guess. No. Okay, not sure. Basically, I have a habit of using Cisco show command. So date and hardware clock. It says 22 and you see 2012.
Mm.
Very old. Okay, now what is question? This is your question. What if we have old
Yes.
time, right? Then when you request for the license, when the license goes to this F5, and it says that, come on, I am issuing the license for 2012 server, I mean, which is there in 2012 time. So it will say that the time your license has expired immediately.
Okay.
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 So what we have to do here is we have to change the time. Okay. So in order to change it, you have to go to this date, and the format is basically month, date, hour, minute, and yy dot s. This is a format.
Okay.
So just to remember the format, I'll just click and enter. This is just for the reference. Month. So today is 8th, day is 4th, hour is going to be 13:10. So 13 minute is going to, come on, 13 and 10 2020 dot ss. Okay, invalid date. Why it is saying invalid date? Because I guess I have to get into, no, month is 9, but anyways, I have to go to TMSH. TMS is something, you know, this is where you can, you know, enter the commands, like this is advanced actually for the troubleshooting. So would again say date, kind of a route, 09, month is 09, 04 and 3. Now the time is 11 2 0 2 0. No, not this. Dot ss. Still error. Why it is so?
In the above line, you
I'm,
mentioned the month as 8.
I'm
So
sorry for that. Wait. Actually, this has to be this only. 00 is second basically, and my bad. Okay, so this time has been changed now. Okay, now we have to
that's like
save this basically. One moment please. So we have to save, like, right, so let's save it. This basically is command to save it. System OHC. This has been one. It is to Thursday 20 March 2002. Checking, and this so make some changes, and then that's the CLI basically. Hardware clock and without space. Okay, this has been saved. Now you can again check like date and hardware clock. Now it is saying Friday, September 4th and 2020. You have to obviously reboot it in order to take this effect. So let's wait basically this server to come back. All right, so after reboot, it's back. So root and then one, two, three. Okay, so let's check again. What's the time? Hardware clock, and time should be correct. So which is there? Yes. Now what I'll do is will log in again. Starting web server. Okay, so it might take some time because just now got rebooted. All right, so it is back. Say admin and say /123. Cool. So just click on setup utility. Start from the introduction. Click on next. Not activated. Activate. And it's already selected. Would say manual and click on next. Okay, this basically in manual method, you have to copy this everything and click here to access F5 license server. Once you copy this, click on this link. It will take you to the F5 website itself. In this website, enter your dossier, what you have copied, and click on paste. If you have as a file, if you have downloaded it, you can also browse it and click on next. All right, just read it out completely and select it yes and click on next. Okay, this basically either you can download it. If you download it, it will be in a file. What I'm going to do is, again, I'm going to say I'm going to copy everything up, not from here. So just select everything and copy this and go to your server. It's here and paste it and click next. You see here the message receiving configuration data from your device and all. This is basically where it basically says, I mean, if it is taking more time, the configuration for this device has been updated. All right, and that this feature functionality previously available for this BIG-IP, and I mean, it is trying to again, establish the connection from the server. It says 30 seconds, 31 seconds. Please wait while the configuration changes are verified. So basically, the server is now verifying the configuration, like the file which you have mentioned there. And it says check your network connection. A system administrator may have installed a system reboot or something, but at the end it says device connection has been restored, a connection to your big IP system has been reestablished, and login. As you see, this time I don't see what? I don't see the, license is not there. Okay. The next after the license is done, this is the resource, provisioning. This basically is all about like what you want to, activate or enable. Local traffic, LTM, which is by default selected. But if you want like global traffic here, just select, check this one. All right. If you want like ASM, if you want like, FPS or any, access policy, anything, just select it. Means the one installation will solve your everything. It is not like you have to install for GTM for different image and for the ASM for different image. No, this image itself, it is just that what you have to enable. But at the moment, I want only the LTM. I'll say click on next because it is already selected, licensed. All right, so this is something talking about the device certificates, and that's basically is default device certificate has been downloaded and opted. We'll click on next. You don't have to do anything. This basically is for the manual IP address or the management IP address configuration. I would say yes. This is what I have configured. I don't want, and the host name. Host name, I would say LTM1. Root account, do you want to disable login? I would say password, just CHAMP, and click on next. Host name, basically, it would ask you to configure the host name must be a fully qualified DNS name. So .com, I would say. And click on next. Receiving configuration data from your device. Okay, this basically is all about your network related configuration. It says do you want to configure redundancy, VLAN, NTP, DNS and all that, or you don't want? I would say really I don't want to configure anything because I have to see the topology, I have to see the IP schema and all, right, for the interfaces. For a moment, I would say just finish this licensing part. Right, here we go. It says this has been done. If you want to configure like DNS and TPS and MP, you can go ahead and configure it. All right, so we'll click on main, and this is where you have the, that's basically the dashboard. Right, where you have the CPU usage, memory, right, connections open, right, we have actions over here. If you want to create your own dashboard, you can create it. Notification as of now we don't have. Throughput, what all the traffic it is being sent and received. So as of now, since it is brand new, nothing. And it is active, it is licensed. The host name is ltm1.com. So, and this is the time. So seems like everything is fine. Right? And that's your local traffic, LTM. Cool. So we'll talk about this in our next session. Uh, but for the time being, I'm done. Let's just stop this here. You guys can go through this and just try to build your own infrastructure, and then we'll continue from next class. Thank you for watching.